It turned off, probably because of heat. I don't know, I wasn't looking at the screen, but it turned off right before. Oh, and I did, yeah, this amazing fit of the corner just for the last. Oh, and I ran out, by the way. I even had to go track down the last piece of the last roll, the previous roll of pink stuff, because yeah, this pink gasket ran out, second roll, and the only one that doesn't have it is this piece here, the last piece I put in. So it ends here and it ends there. Everywhere else, we've got our plate put in, and with pink gasket. All of them have bolts. Almost all have 2 bolts, except for that little piece right there. Little tiny piece. And that's just a matter of, I mean, it's got the gasket, but yeah, it's just, unless I drill in another anchor bolt, which I don't think I'm going to do. You know, because there's, you know, well, it's 3 right there. But yeah, all the weight of the building will bear down on it, and it will be fine. Yeah, this one was just too far, and so I marked it up with the pencil, and I went up on top from the other side and used my circular saw at the correct depth that chopped the wood and not the pink gasket, which was pretty awesome to me. I don't know if anybody else is impressed, but I'm pretty impressed. That's the first time I did a depth cut, you know, with the circular saw. So anyway, I put the cross beams back where they're supposed to be, and actually I'm gonna go higher so I can look down on this. Yeah, so other than that little pile down there, other than that little pile, this took exactly 8 pieces of 2 by 12, which that was a guess. It would have been an easier guess if I had longer pieces, but that wasn't yeah, available. So anyway, yeah, so the next step is to get some kind of caulking or glue. I'm not sure what you know, because one of the things in the instructions of the pink stuff was to either glue the you know, the pink stuff down to the concrete, or to use an adhesive to glue it to the plates. So there must be something. They wouldn't put that there if there wasn't something that I can use to glue it. So, oh man, I'm so glad. Even my phone was like, yeah, taking a break. So I stopped and went and took a break. It was so hot, and it was like not even 12 yet. Which is weird, because like yesterday and the day before it was raining, and tomorrow it's supposed to rain. Well, there's a high percentage of possibility. Yeah, so it should be cooler, you know, like, and right now the breeze is blowing. It feels really good, but man, right there in that peak. But I mean, you know, this is what's over us. So the clouds are starting to, you know, assemble. So, good. I hope it does a downpour, you know, because I need it. But I don't want it to downpour on my new dry plates. So miss the plates. Everything else is fine. I don't, you know, they'll dry, I guess. You know, so, yeah, so the next thing is to glue them or get some caulking. I want to do extra caulking under the pink stuff on the concrete, just to gooify and, seal that. I don't want any breeze, any, air flowing, anything. So, because like there's places like over here where the board is slightly twisted. So I pushed this side down. Oops, where's my finger? Push that side down, and this one pops up. So now, depending on the, let's do this one. Depending on the bolts, when I do the nuts and the washers, and I ratchet it down, it may hold tight. I don't know, but instead of guessing all the way around what is, what isn't, I'm gonna just put a lot of adhesive and caulking. I don't know what they call it, so but I'm gonna put that in, and it should hold it that way. A little bit more solid. Also, I was thinking, because of these sticking over and sticking over here, and also the ones that go around the border, since I really I like the stick over, not that it shows here because these are all wonky, but they stick over like a foot on that side, foot on that side. Because I like it, I don't want to chop it in order to get that long straight piece, but because I need that bearer to be all the way across all those things, and to really distribute that weight, I want it that way. For strength and safety, I was thinking, what if I do that, I put that there, and all the way around the same thing. Just one long big, well, not one piece, but one piece there, one piece here, one piece here. These then would go on top of that, pushing them a full 8 inches up. Now that's kind of a wacky idea, but it's doable, and then my I get the thing that I want for the strength, especially for that wall over there, especially for that one, because there's just a few points that the weight is coming down on. I want it distributing, all the way across. So I'll do that one, and then I mean, unless that's a waste of wood, it just puts it up higher is all, and it's stronger. At the ends, I was gonna have one just like these, where it just goes and it just sticks off the end and sticks off the end. But that would be one and one on top of it, which seems weird. But I guess I don't have to do the 4x8. I could lay it down and have like a 4x something. Ooh, I felt raindrop. All right. Well, I guess rain's coming early. Anyway, I've been thinking about it though, and I'd really like to have that stick out. Stick out, stick out, stick out, stick out, and then also on this side, stick out, stick out, stick out, stick out. If I could do that, but maintain the strength of the building, I would love to do that. But remembering that this here and this here, there will be, let's put this in wide, there will be beams, the 4x8, or sorry, 4x6s that come up to here and just go here and sit on here. but only come up to this distance, and then that last 4 inches will be the 4x8 that is going all the way around. So if these sit here, they're nice and strong. But if I raise that one, then I have to raise these, you know, up. So they will be sitting on, you know, well, I'll have to build it up, you know. So I'll have to put something wider here. So it's possible I could just do 4x6s and lay them down so it's only 4 inches up. But I prefer to have 6 inches or 8 inches, you know, just for the shear, you know, like, well, the shear, the strength going across, because if it's 6 or 8, it's a lot stronger than turned on it sideways where there's only 4. But I mean, if it is turned sideways on the 4, then this would be, this would be 6 here. And then these beams would come over and sit. Well, they sit on whatever I put there, you know. So, and if it comes out 6 inches, and then the next one up is 4x8, then that would leave 2 inches for it to sit on. So it looks like I'm, in either case, I've got to put something, a block of something there, or not have it sit on a very wide ledge, and I'd prefer it sit on as much as possible. Because if it's 4x8 here, then it takes the rest of it as a seat for it. There's also the issue, which I've just covered up for now, which is the conduits. They come up, the conduit comes up, there's a hole, and ideally I would cut a hole in the top, you know, the top plate, the sill plate, and the pink gasket. That way, you know, those wires could come up. But again, if it comes up and these ones are sticking over on and laying on this surface, then they're not. I'm gonna have to drill through and run those wires that way. So I'm kind of debating that. I'm kind of turning less and less for using the conduits and just putting in my own conduits that just, you know, go down the wall here, go down the wall there. You know, it'll look like a cabin. It won't look, you know, a fancy pants like, you know, like a snooty Homer or something. It just is going to be function, you know, function over fashion. So, yeah, you know, yeah, I left them covered up for now until I get all the glue and the other stuff, and I'll have to decide by then what to do. So, anyway, woohoo! Let's see if I can stand up on this ladder the way that I'm not supposed to. Just to give, ooh, that was close. Just to give a good image. And, oh yeah, I'm excited. I'm super excited. So, oh, and there are, you know, because it goes out the full 12 inches, it's not like these that the guy built out of, like, what, 8 inches. So everywhere that it's not flat, we see pink. And where we have our sill plate here, you know, I went ahead and just ran the double pink everywhere all the way around. I thought it would be enough, but it wasn't. But I did think about cutting and cutting here, leaving this open so that the other beam, because it doesn't need this sill plate. It only needs to be where the wood all contacts the stone and and the concrete. So then the other 4x8 that I run around the rim is going to go right over top of that. That gives me just a smidge more, and I'm not cutting into anything, and then the door frame will go. Right now the door frame is still here, but I'm going to remove it. So because it's horribly corrupted on the top where the water was molding and everything, and yeah, it's just no good, you know. And I wanna refresh all of it and get it nice and good and clean and strong. So anyway, that was a thought. You know, I could do it there and I could do it here. That will leave me just a tiny sill plate and gasket right there on the lid. This one will be fine because it'll be bolted in, and but then it would just be cut, and then that 4x8 would just be cut right across, and that would be my new my new place that I you know, put the frame up to. I don't need the door any taller. I mean, you know, like I can reach up and touch it, but it's not like gonna hit my head or something. So anyway, very oh man, lots of problems with my phone and battery and turning off and turning. This is all like, I think 4 or 5 videos that I've had to keep starting videos, and then yeah, and then but all of that will be linked together into one video and high speed, so it'll be, you know, all time-lapsey and fast, and you know, me hard working 10 times. It's actually times 32, because when I increase it to the point where I like, you know, I don't know, but we'll see. But then it's kind of sad because you don't see all the, you know, the goofy little things of me pulling up my pants, scratching my belly. Yeah, so that's the idea. That's the thought. So the same can be said for these, where I just cut it, because we don't need a sill plate here because it's wood, and that would, you know, give me just a, you know, smidge more. Well, I mean, it would be a 4x4, so it would be just this. So the 4x8 would be up here, and then my 4x4 would be like here and deep, 8 inches. So what you doing? Yeah, so it's a thought. But for now, I prefer to have them all bolted and, you know, going across, and it's stronger that way, you know, that they're all holding on. Like if it's bolted here and it's bolted here, you know, then that entire thing is kind of stronger, you know, than having a small top plate, or you know, sill plate, and then a small sill plate, and then a small sill plate. Yes, the 4x8 going across all of them will be strong, except these are bolted. You know, these are bolted to the concrete. So I'd like to have that increase. So yeah, I don't know. Now I'm talking myself out of it. So anyway, aside from that, there's little things that I just would like to get the sealant, caulking, whatever, and squeeze it into all the little tiny holes. You know, like these are just, they're just rife, waiting for a spider to come make a new home there. So, But as far as these things, you know, I've been debating. I was actually thinking about, because it's so chipped up, and I kind of would have to, well, to repair it would be minimal little pieces of repair here, 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 here. So it's not as appealing, you know. So what I was thinking is taking my grinder, you know, my grinder with a concrete, you know, disc, and just spin, you know, grind it, and just put a little bevel, the bevel that goes in, and then I've got my 4x4 here. Not elegant, but it would just kind of clean up that edge just a little bit, and it would also chip up any little pieces that are not soundly attached to the rest of the concrete. You know, little pieces will kind of fuddle around and stuff, but yeah. What you doing? What you get? Smell something? Yeah. Alright, well, that's it. Sill plate done. Well, almost done. I gotta do the pink stuff for that one. Also, I was thinking maybe, well, I gotta get a whole new roll of pink stuff, so that's not appealing to me. It's not that expensive. It's pretty cheap, but still, getting a whole roll when I only need, like, what is that, 4 feet? I don't want to get a whole roll for that. Yeah. I guess I could steal it from these, because I don't need the double pink stuff over that. Even if I leave the Sill plate there, I don't need the pink stuff. And I was thinking about that while I was laying it, but I was like, no, I'm just going to do double all the way around and then decide where to cut it, where to trim, whatever. But I could get those two, and I could get those two, and that might be enough to go under that. Unless I want to triple down on all of them. Anyway, I got to pull them all up anyway. You know, now that they're all on there and assembled, I'm going to pull them all up and do the goo. So, yeah. There it is. Proud of me. I was a little hesitant to start the Sill plate because it's like, it's starting building. It's exciting, but it's also, you know, nerves and commitment, and it's a lot. It's a commitment going down that path, you know. So these need mending, and every time I would like hit the thing to seat it in onto the bolts, if it was just off by millimeters, I tried to, you know, sort of take my drill and go to get the hole just a smidge bigger, just so that there's a little play on there, a little room to adjust if it's not straight. But when I'd hit it with the thing and it would, you know, slam it down, but little pieces of cement would just go pling, pling. And I was like, oh, there's a little more. Oh, there goes a little more. So I think the most recent one was up here, or no, it was over here. This big one from on the outside, because it was out here where, and I just heard it fall. I didn't, you know, because obviously it's a patchwork done by, you know, I don't even think it was the same guy. I think it was after, but yeah. So that whole thing, it's not holding on to anything, and there's cement, you know, epoxy or whatever that holds new cement to the old cement, and I don't think that they used any of that, you know. So that's just my guess. I mean, I don't know chemical analysis or anything, but it kind of makes me want to chip it all off and do it proper. And you know, if that's the case, oh, I gotta paint the end. of these where they come off, because I didn't want to do a 45-degree cut and then have them, line up kind of, and anyway. So I just need to paint it with a chemical, so so that the whole thing is treated. When the end is open like that, it's not treated. That end is not. So yeah, I like seeing that sill plate up there. This is more of that pink. There's nothing covering it, so it's just kind of there. I'll be cutting that off. By the way, I don't think that I'm going to leave it there. So, because that would be silly. But yeah, for now it's fine. Like I was saying in the other video, I'm gonna remove these windows though. So and when I do that, I'll be removing that pink gasket, the sill gasket. That's not good. I didn't do double on this first one. I just did a single one on the first one, and then so technically then that means that I wouldn't have enough, even if I did patch that other one, because I need to do this one. Even though it's like a little bit here, a little bit there, so it's not much, but anyway, I'll be pulling them up, gooing it, doing them, and then bolting them down, and tightening those nuts. These tightened nuts. All right, that's all. Super success. Yay! I even fiddled around with this, see if it where it goes. I think it's in one of the videos, but I just held it up trying to get a picture of my mind. I'm thinking instead of 1 foot from the wall, I was thinking of 1.5 feet. Just because where these bolts go through, there's another one on this side. And it has to be super straight through, grab it on, and where this is, there can't be beams coming across, or rafters. Anyway, no wood can come and attach where this thing is. They have to be on this side, or they have to be on this side. So that kind of screws up my spacing. Whether 18-inch on center or 2 feet on the center. It's now I've got this thing. So it might not be just a cool 1 foot away from the wall, because where all of them land. I was messing around with it in SketchUp yesterday while it was raining. No, don't fall off of there. Yeah, trying to work out the numbers on it, because I want them to space correctly so that plate is unobstructed by wood trying to attach where it is. So anyway, that's a side thing. That's another few steps down the way. But closer than that is putting on the opening the floor and putting in the thing. Actually, I was thinking about putting a good cement, but using these concrete piers. So they will be nice and sturdy under there. Certainly better than the weird rocky thing that they've got, and I can put some gravel under them and make sure that they're all nice and plumb, and put those beams up. Put those, I didn't call it a beam, but is it a post? I don't know. It could be a post if it wants to, I guess. But those will come up, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. And so I got those. Yeah. Yeah. Sill plate. Sweet.